gone to die!
The story opens in the winter of 1931, introducing us to Michael, a man who appears to be a standard family man but secretly holds a high-ranking position within the city's most powerful mafia, led by a boss named John Rule. Michael is extremely protective of his family, keeping the dark reality of his profession completely hidden from his wife and, more importantly, his two young sons. He fears that knowing the truth would corrupt their innocence. One day, Michael takes his family to a social gathering hosted by the mob. Here, his children are introduced to John. The elderly boss takes an immediate liking to the boys, playing with them and showing them affection. However, watching from the sidelines is John's own son, Connor. Connor is a bitter, volatile man whom nobody respects. He is a constant disappointment, and even he knows that his father favors Michael over him. The gathering is actually a wake for a deceased associate. John stands to give a speech, offering kind words about the fallen man. However, the atmosphere turns tense when Finn, the brother of the deceased, stands up to speak. Instead of a eulogy, Finn begins to unravel, openly accusing John of orchestrating his brother's death. He claims John had him killed on purpose. As Finn continues his tirade, the tension in the room becomes suffocating. Michael realizes that if Finn continues to speak, he will ruin everything and disrespect the boss. Michael steps in, escorting Finn out of the room and placing him in a car to cool off. Connor, seizing an opportunity to prove himself, tells his father he will go talk to Finn to clear up the misunderstanding. John, however, knows his son is reckless and dangerous. He orders Michael to accompany Connor, instructing him to ensure that Connor only talks and does nothing violent. Once the situation is temporarily defused, the party continues inside. John sits at a piano, and Michael joins him. The two play a duet together, displaying a deep father-son bond. From a distance, Connor watches them, laughing a cold, mysterious laugh. It is the laughter of a man consumed by jealousy, realizing his father loves his enforcer more than his own blood. Later that night, Michael's younger son, Peter, wakes up from a nightmare. He wakes his older brother, Junior, and they begin to whisper about their father. They wonder what he actually does for John. Junior admits he suspects their father does dangerous work, revealing he has seen Michael carrying a gun. The next morning at breakfast, Michael informs Peter that he cannot attend his school concert due to important work. Junior, feeling the weight of the secret and desperate to know the truth, decides to investigate. That night, he sneaks out and hides in the back of Michael's car, unbeknownst to his father. Michael drives to a secluded location to meet Connor, and together they head into a warehouse to confront Finn. They believe they are alone, but Junior creeps up to the building and peers through a crack in the wall. Inside, the conversation goes south immediately. Connor, arrogant and aggressive, scolds Finn for insulting his father in public. He demands an apology. Terrified, Finn agrees to apologize, but Connor's ego isn't satisfied. He insults Finn further, causing Finn to snap and call for his bodyguards. As guns are drawn, Connor loses his temper completely. He shoots Finn point-blank in the head, killing him instantly. Michael, realizing the situation has spiraled out of control, is forced to draw his own weapon and gun down Finn's two bodyguards to protect Connor. Junior watches the brutal execution in horror. As Michael and Connor attempt to clean up the mess, they hear a noise and rush outside, discovering Junior. Michael is shocked to see his son there. Connor's eyes narrow, but Michael grabs Junior, shaking him and demanding that he keep his mouth shut. He commands him to forget everything he saw. Michael drives his shaken son home. On the way, Junior asks if his mother knows about this life. Michael admits she does. He explains that this is his job, a burden he carries so his family can live, but emphasizes that Junior must never speak of it again. The next morning, John visits Michael's house. Junior is terrified to see the old man now that he knows the truth, but John acts as if nothing is wrong, speaking gently to Michael. He acknowledges that Junior losing his innocence was bound to happen eventually, though he regrets it happened so soon. Later, a high-level meeting is held with the Mafia families. John demands to know exactly what happened the previous night. Connor tries to brush it off, but John humiliates him in front of everyone, forcing him to apologize for killing a made man without permission. Connor, seething with rage and embarrassment, apologizes, but his hatred for Michael grows even deeper. After the meeting, Connor approaches Michael outside. He hands him a sealed envelope and gives him the address of a low-level gangster named Tony. He claims there is a debt to be collected and asks Michael to deliver the envelope. Michael agrees and heads to the underground bar where Tony operates. However, when he hands Tony the envelope, the man's expression turns to pure fear. Michael's instincts flare. He realizes something is wrong. Before Tony can act, Michael draws his gun and kills both Tony and his bouncer. He retrieves the envelope and reads the note inside. It instructs Tony to kill Michael to wipe out his debts. Michael realizes it was a setup. Connor wants him dead. More terrifyingly, he realizes his family is now a loose end. He rushes to a phone booth to call home, but the line is dead. Panic sets in. Meanwhile, at Michael's house, his wife is bathing their younger son, Peter. A masked intruder bursts into the bathroom and brutally murders both of them. Junior, who had been sent home late from school due to a fight, arrives just in time to see the killer leaving. The killer removes his mask, revealing himself to be Connor. Junior hides, terrified and alone. Michael arrives home, his heart pounding. He finds Junior cowering in the shadows. He rushes upstairs and discovers the horrific scene. His wife and Peter are dead. His world shatters. On the other side of town, John learns what Connor has done. He beats his son in a fury, telling him he wishes he had never been born, but he knows the consequences. Michael will come for them, and despite everything, John cannot let his son be killed. Michael knows he cannot stay. He packs a bag and takes Junior, fleeing the city in the dead of night. Michael knows Connor's habits and drives to a hotel where Connor often stays. He parks the car and hands a gun to Junior, instructing him to wait and watch the clock. If Michael isn't back in 5 minutes, Junior is to run. Michael enters the hotel, ready to end it. He kicks open the door to Connor's room, but Connor isn't there. Instead, he finds one of John's associates waiting for him. The associate tells Michael that John knows everything. He slides a briefcase filled with $25,000 across the table, offering it as a peace offering. He tells Michael to take the money, leave town, and forget this ever happened. Michael stares at him cold and unmoving. He raises his gun to the man's head, stating that this is no longer about money. The associate begs for his life, stammering, "I'm just a messenger." Michael looks him in the eye and replies, "I'm a messenger too." He pulls the trigger, killing the man and sending a clear, bloody message back to John. The war has begun. Michael speeds back to the car where Junior is waiting, and together they flee the city, heading for Chicago. Their destination is the territory of a powerful gangster named Frank. Upon arrival, Michael leaves Junior in a safe location and proceeds alone to Frank's office. He makes a bold proposition: help him kill Connor, and in return, Michael will pledge his loyalty and service to Frank forever. However, Frank refuses. He advises Michael against this path of vengeance, telling him to let it go. Michael, undeterred, states coldly that he will kill Connor regardless of Frank's help and walks out. Immediately after Michael leaves, Frank enters an adjoining room where, shockingly, John and Connor are waiting. Frank informs John that Michael is determined and will not stop. He presents John with a stark choice: either side with Michael, his most loyal enforcer, or protect his troublesome son, Connor. John makes his choice. He orders Michael's death. To ensure the job is done, they hire the country's most notorious hitman, a ruthless killer named Harlan. They provide Harlan with all the details on Michael and, crucially, order him to kill Junior as well to eliminate any witnesses or future threats. Harlan begins his hunt. Meanwhile, Michael calls his sister, intending to leave Junior with her for safekeeping. However, Harlan, who has already tapped their phones, intercepts the call. Knowing their plan, Harlan moves to intercept them. Michael and Junior, unaware of the immediate danger, continue their journey. After hours of driving, they stop at a roadside diner. Michael asks Junior if he's hungry, but the boy refuses to eat. Michael goes inside alone to grab some food. As Michael enters the diner, Harlan follows him in. There is a police officer present, but Harlan is brazen and unafraid. He calmly walks over and slides into the booth opposite Michael. They exchange tense words, and Michael quickly realizes who Harlan is and why he is there. Thinking fast, Michael feigns drunkenness, slurring his words and acting disoriented. He excuses himself to use the restroom. Harlan, amused by what he thinks is a pathetic attempt to stall, lets him go. However, Michael bypasses the bathroom, slips out a back door, races to his car, and speeds away with Junior. Harlan realizes he's been tricked and rushes outside, firing his weapon blindly at the fleeing vehicle, but they escape. Furious, Harlan turns his rage on the innocent police officer inside the diner, killing him before resuming his pursuit. Miles away, Michael's adrenaline turns to anger. He berates Junior for not being alert, for not noticing the hitman. He shouts that Junior needs to be constantly vigilant, explaining that if he had just moved the wrong way in that diner, he would be dead. Junior is terrified by his father's intensity. Michael, calming himself down, explains his new plan. To take revenge and cripple the Mafia, they are going to rob the banks where the mob stashes its money. He tells Junior he needs his help and that the first step is learning how to drive so he can be their getaway driver. Michael begins teaching Junior to drive, and the boy quickly learns. Soon, they begin their spree, robbing Mafia-controlled banks one by one. Michael enters the banks, demands the mob's money from the managers, and leaves a small cut for them to ensure their silence. Junior proves to be an able getaway driver, and their operation runs smoothly. During a celebratory dinner at a diner, a happy Junior asks for his share of the loot. When Michael asks how much he wants, Junior innocently asks for $200, thinking it a vast sum. Michael chuckles, telling his son he should have asked for more. Back in the city, Connor is growing increasingly frustrated with being confined to a safe house. Unable to reach his father, he goes to see Frank. He learns that Michael is systematically dismantling their financial empire by robbing their banks. Frank is furious at the loss of money and respect. Connor, arrogant as ever, declares that he no longer needs Frank's protection and claims he will soon be the boss of the entire city before storming out. Meanwhile, Michael targets another bank, only to find that the Mafia has already withdrawn their funds. The terrified manager, however, gives up the location of the mob's accountant. Michael takes Junior with him, reiterating the importance of staying alert. He storms the accountant's office, gun drawn, demanding the ledger containing all the Mafia's financial records. Unknown to Michael, Harlan has anticipated this move and is waiting in the building across the street. Seeing Michael arrive, Harlan gets into position. Inside, the accountant hands over the ledger. Just then, Harlan opens fire with a high-powered rifle. Bullets shatter the office windows. Michael fires back, but his shot goes wide, hitting a glass partition. A large shard of glass flies into Harlan's face, severely injuring him. Michael grabs the ledger and they flee to the car. As they speed away, Harlan, despite his injuries, manages to fire one last shot. The bullet hits Michael in the shoulder. Junior steps on the gas, driving wildly to escape. They get far away, but Michael is losing blood fast and eventually loses consciousness. Junior stops the car at a remote farmhouse and screams for help. An elderly farming couple comes out, takes them in, and helps remove the bullet, saving Michael's life. Michael and Junior stay at the farm while Michael recovers. During this time, Michael watches with pride as Junior helps the farmer with chores, seeing a glimpse of the normal life his son could have had. One night, Junior asks his father why he always seemed to love Peter more. Michael explains that it was never about loving Peter more. It was that he saw too much of himself in Junior. He didn't want Junior to grow up into the hard, violent man he is, so he tried to toughen him up, to prepare him for a harsh world, something he never felt he had to do with the gentler Peter. Junior, understanding, hugs his father. While recovering, Michael studies the stolen ledger. He discovers proof that Connor has been stealing from everyone's accounts for years, even his own father's. Michael decides he must show this to John. The next morning, they leave the farm, leaving a large sum of money for the couple who helped them. Michael tracks John to a church. John, sensing someone behind him, turns to find Michael. Michael asks to talk, and they go down to the church's quiet basement tea house. Michael presents the ledger, showing John proof of Connor's betrayal. He warns John that if the other families find out, it will cause a war. John admits he already knows but begs Michael to stop his vendetta. He confesses he cannot bear to lose his only son, Connor, even though it pains him that he has already lost Michael, whom he thought of as a son. Michael leaves, his resolve hardened. He knows what he must do. He goes to a hideout and meticulously assembles a heavy machine gun. He then writes a final letter to Junior, knowing he likely won't survive the night. He leaves the letter and sets out. However, Junior is awake and reads the letter as soon as his father is gone. Meanwhile, John exits a building and walks to his car, only to find his driver dead. He knows his time has come. Michael steps out from the shadows. He methodically kills all of John's bodyguards while John stands with his back to him, accepting his fate. Finally, Michael faces the man who was a father figure to him. With tears in his eyes, he raises his gun and kills John. But his mission is not complete. Michael calls Frank, informs him that John is dead, and threatens him. Tell him where Connor is, or he's next. Frank gives up Connor's location. Michael goes to the hotel, kicks open the door to Connor's room, and finds him cowering in the bathtub. Without a word, Michael shoots him 3 times, finally avenging his family. His revenge complete, Michael returns to Junior. The boy is overjoyed to see his father alive. They leave the life of crime behind and move far away to a secluded beach house, where they live a quiet, happy life for a time. One day, as Michael enters his home, Harlan, scarred and vengeful, steps out from the shadows and shoots him twice in the chest. Harlan, ever the professional, stands over the dying Michael and begins taking photographs as proof of the completed contract. Suddenly, Junior appears, holding a gun and pointing it directly at Harlan. Michael, with his dying breath, begs Junior not to shoot, desperately trying to prevent his son from crossing that final line and becoming a killer like him. Harlan, ignoring the threat, walks toward Junior. Junior pulls the trigger, killing Harlan instantly. Junior rushes to his father's side. Michael uses his last moments to apologize over and over, his heart breaking because he failed to protect his son from the violence that consumed his own life. He dies in Junior's arms. Time passes. Junior, unable to stay in the house, packs his belongings and leaves. He returns to the farm where they had found refuge. The old farmer welcomes him back, and Junior settles in to live a simpler, peaceful life with them, finally free of his father's shadow. And that brings us to the end of our story. Friends, today's video ends here. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.